We all know Tom Petty, but we all don't know what I'm about to tell you. When Tom Petty saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan and shook the hands of Elvis, he knew what his life voyage was going to be. His first serious band was Mudcrutch, which sounds like the name of a 90s grunge band, but they played all around Gainesville, Florida in the 70s and became a popular band there. They had to jump from being a big fish in a little pond to the ocean, Los Angeles, so they prepared a caravan out to the West Coast. And I mean caravan because you had the band, their wives, friends, more than just a few dudes crammed in a car. The smart thing they did before they left was record a demo and send it around. Before the convoy was supposed to take off, Tom got a call from Denny Cordell, and Denny is a British record producer and co-owner of Shelter Records. The other owner of Shelter Records is the legendary Leon Russell. Mudcrutch's demo had made its way to Shelter's LA office, and based on that, they wanted to sign the band, saying they could be the next Rolling Stones. Denny insisted the caravan go through Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is where their studio was. They chat at a diner across the street from the church studios, everyone's vibing, and based on that, the band agrees to sign with Shelter Records. The group still carried on to California, and by the time they got to LA, the contract was done. While the band partied with the Shelter Records LA crew, Denny and Tom worked together to see how they could fit into the 70s music scene. The band would go back to Tulsa a few times since they could record there for free. They did a few originals, a Solomon Burke cover, and an early version of Don't Do Me Like That, but the band didn't really think anything of the song. They released a single called Depot Street, which did well in Mudcrutch's Gainesville, Florida, but it didn't chart, and so Shelter Records pulled the band from their roster. Denny Cordell did keep Tom Petty under contract, and Tom pushed to have his guitarist Mike Campbell under contract, so those two remained Shelter Record artists. Tom had written Lost in Your Eyes, and it made its way to Leon Russell's ears, and Leon wanted to meet Petty with the intention of a co-write. While they didn't sit down and write a song, it was a time when Tom went from young grasshopper to future sensei. It was after this, Tom forms his new band, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and they released 2 albums on Shelter Records, which included singles Breakdown and American Girl. Funny enough, those songs did better in the UK than they did here in the States, but cream always rises. During these years with the Heartbreakers, Tom met Dwight Twilley and Phil Seymour of the Dwight Twilley Band, and they were also recording in Tulsa and on the same label. Tom laid down some guitar tracks and backing vocals for their song Looking for the Magic and vocals on their song Girls. Seymour sang backup on Petty's American Girl and Breakdown, and both Seymour and Twilley did backing vocals for Stranger in the Night. What do you get when Bob Dylan, George Harrison, Jeff Lynne, Roy Orbison, and Tom Petty walk into a room? The Traveling Wilburys, of course. A cool turnaround since the Beatles first inspired Tom Petty. Okay, they inspired a lot of people, but for the story's sake, he got to work with George Harrison. They all gathered for what was supposed to be a bonus track on Harrison's next single, but felt their collaboration was too good for one song, Handle with Care. That Wilbury will have to travel into its own story. Thanks for watching and following. Cheers.